This is a good question, and I've been wanting to answer this for quite some time as it's been in my drafts for a while, and something told me not yet, not yet, not yet, even though I had all the answers, but now I know why. Because I got more answers yesterday, which is so interesting because my answer has always been, as I always say in my calls, on my group calls, and even in other videos or my lives, for basics, your ego is your mind, your egoic mind, and your higher self is your heart. It is your intuition. It is what leads you on your spiritual journey or on your twin flame journey, which really is a spiritual journey. And when we start to awaken spiritually, your higher self starts to come in. You start to listen to your intuition. You start trusting these other thoughts that are coming in, that are coming from the heart. You're wanting to listen to the heart, but the ego is trying to rationalize everything. Basically, your ego tries to think logically, it tries to think rationally based on, I just saw 111, based on past experiences, based on 3D conditioning, based on past fears and pain, okay? And so it tries to keep you safe. So a lot of the times, the ego will come from a place of fear, come from a place of anxiety, of pain, of, oh my God. Whereas the higher self coming from the heart, it comes from a place of unconditional love. So it's gonna come from higher vibrations. It's gonna come from a place of knowing, gonna come from a place of excitement, joy, just unconditional love. And it's going to come, I need to stop saying gonna. It's going to come from, my cowgirl shirt, is going to come from a place of certainty. So even when you're feeling like a warning is coming, like something is going to happen, your higher self, it won't tell you in a fearful way. Let's say your higher self is warning you that an accident is about to happen on the freeway or something, and you just, all of a sudden you get this knowing, right? But it's not scaring you. It's coming from a place of certainty, of knowing. That is high vibration. When you come from a place of fear, like, right, that's just fear. That's your egoic mind, possibly because of past experiences. You know, you've had fears in your past life, in this life, or even in past lives, okay? Sometimes your ego comes from past lives, okay? And the reason why I realized that I had to wait until today is because I had some realizations yesterday. So I did a live on Monday on Instagram, and it was very empowering, you know, letting the divine feminines know we got to focus on ourselves, we got to focus on our mission. However, there was some ego in that video, and I'll admit it. I'm not going to deny it. There was a little bit of ego because, as you know, if you're on the twin flame journey, you know that this connection is very unique. You only have one twin flame, and you are connected with your twin flame at the heart chakra. And when it comes to the twin flame journey, your egoic mind is going to try to rationalize and be like, no, this doesn't make sense. I got to get them out of my head. Like, they're not here right now. They ghosted me. They hurt me. And so it's going to make up excuses to just let them go, right? It's going to compare them to regular connections, okay? But higher self knows that the twin flame journey is to trigger you, that there is push and pull, and that separation needs to happen, okay? And unfortunately in that video, although it was so empowering, and it was, the main purpose was to get divine feminines to not let go of their twin flame, but let go of expectations and focus on themselves, because that is very important. We have to do that. However, there was a little bit of that, like, well, they're not here right now. I said that. It was mostly joking, but still, they're not here right now. So what, you know, like, we have to focus on us, which is true, but I didn't have to come from that kind of place. And I realized the following day, yesterday, I had my third eye was hurting me like crazy all day, and it wouldn't go away. And I thought, okay, do I need to meditate? Thought I was going to be channeling something, or maybe I was getting upgrades. And then it wasn't until the end of the day I finally realized, I'm like, this must be my divine masculine, because this has happened before where it's hurt all day until I finally talk to him in the 5D, and then it goes away. And so what I heard from my divine masculine was that he felt that I was angry at him, but most likely because of my live. Now it's 4:44 on the clock. And most likely because of my live, I came off very, I was very fiery. I mean, I liked my energy. I was very fiery, I was very passionate, but it was almost like I was just like, well, we got to let them go. I'm sassy, right? And what he was telling me, what I was feeling was that I needed to let go of the fear or the pain or etc. and not hate him. He said, don't hate me, don't hate me. And I'm like, I don't hate you. And so one thing I realized was I was not talking to his higher self that much in the 5D, because my egoic mind was telling me that if I keep talking to him in the 5D, it's chasing energy. Why am I doing that? Even though I know as a twin flame coach, and I've said it so many times, it's okay to talk to them in the 5D because that's where we are connected. We are connected at the heart chakra. We are connected to them telepathically. But unfortunately, my egoic mind was getting in the way because I wanted to stay focused on my mission. I felt that if I was talking to him in the 5D, that I was putting too much energy onto him. I was putting too much energy onto the connection. And that's not coming from a place of unconditional love, especially as a twin flame coach, because technically he's the reason that I'm here, right? I mean, my twin flame is the reason why I'm coaching, is the reason why I'm talking about twin flames and teaching all of you in the first place, right? So I should be connecting with him in the 5D more. But obviously there has to be a balance when you are connecting with your twins. I know this is kind of like two separate topics, but I felt like this had to be shared. So when you're connecting with your twin in the 5D, make sure it's not coming from a place of chasing energy and you're not like, how come you're not here? And why are you like taking so long? And I miss you. Like, you can say you miss them, but you know, coming from a place of unconditional love and just connecting and feeling what you hear from them. That's why it's very important to connect with your higher self on a regular basis. And it's important to meditate, because your ego wants to get in the way. Your ego, again, is not understanding the soul, okay? Your higher self knows exactly where you're meant to be. It knows your highest timeline. So when you're tapping into your higher self on a regular basis by meditating, or you can ask your higher self questions, you know, there's different techniques by asking your higher self to show you the symbol for yes, no, and neutral. You can do the body pendulum by asking your higher self. Those are all techniques that I teach on my calls and coaching sessions. So when you are tapping into your higher self on a frequent basis and asking your ego to kindly step aside, then you can make decisions that are for your highest timeline. Because when we go with what our ego wants and we go against what higher self wants, that is when we have more obstacles in our lives, because we're going against what's meant for us. Our ego's like, no, this doesn't make sense. No, hello, I need to stop thinking about them. They're so far away, like we're never gonna be together. And you know, you start making up excuses, right? And then that's why when you try to cut the cord, you get sick. That's why when you try to let go of your twin flame, you get sick and you get bombarded with signs. The signs come in because they're trying to remind you that that is the path for you. It doesn't mean that they're meant for you right now, but they're saying, hey, one day you're gonna be with this person, but focus on yourself. So you don't detach from your twin flame, you detach from the outcome. You let go of expectations and you surrender. You allow yourself to go with the flow. This is why Divine Feminines, when we are in our true Divine Feminine essence, we are surrendering and we are going with the flow. But this is for everybody in life. If everybody just allowed to surrender and listen to their hearts and listen to their intuition, which is why we're entering New Earth and we are raising the vibration. Once we start listening to our heart and higher self, we are going to enter a higher frequency and be on our highest timeline. I hope that helps. God bless.